Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the powerful ideas of Sergei Lazarev. We're going to tackle a topic that, let's be honest, affects every single one of us. That constant battle with our own negative thoughts. So let's just jump right in with the big question. Are your thoughts working for you or against you? Because according to Lazarev, that inner voice you hear isn't just random background noise. It's an active force. And the very first step to getting control is figuring out if that force is your ally or your enemy. So first things first, we have to really understand what we're up against. Lazarev calls it a hidden enemy. And that's such a perfect description, isn't it? It's an enemy that operates from inside our own minds, and it even uses our own voice against us. Now, let's be really clear about what we mean by negative thinking. This isn't just about having a bad day here and there. Lazarev sees it as a persistent mental habit. And it kind of makes sense, right? Our brains evolved to have this negativity bias to keep us safe, always scanning for what could go wrong. But the problem is, in our modern world, that old wiring can get stuck in a loop, creating this downward spiral where negativity just feeds more negativity. And this is where it gets really tricky. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you constantly expect the worst, you subconsciously start making tiny decisions that actually lead you to that outcome. You don't go for that promotion because you're already sure you won't get it. You hear a neutral comment and immediately think it's a criticism. Your negative thoughts literally start building your negative reality. And get this battle isn't just happening in your head. Oh no, negative thinking is fighting a war on two fronts. Psychologically, sure, it's feeling stress and anxiety, but it's also physical. It triggers stress hormones like cortisol, and over time, that can weaken your immune system and even raise your risk for serious health issues. It is a silent threat to your entire well-being. Okay, so how do we even begin to fight back against this hidden enemy? Well, Lazarev is really clear on this point. You can't defeat an enemy you can't see. The whole journey has to start with one single, absolutely crucial first step. So the turning point, it comes in two parts. First up is awareness. This is just about noticing the pattern. It's like flipping on a light in a dark room and finally seeing what's really been there all along. Then comes the second part, acceptance, and this is so important. It's about acknowledging those thoughts without beating yourself up over them. Lazarev suggests you try to see them as a kind of misguided defense mechanism that your brain learned a long time ago. And here's why that's so critical. When you try to fight or push away a negative thought, you actually give it more power. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It just wants to pop back up with more force. So acceptance isn't about surrender. It's about disarmament. The moment you acknowledge the thought without that internal fight, you take away its energy. And that's when you create the space you need to actually make a change. Okay, so you're aware, you've accepted what's going on, now what? Well, now you're ready to build your mental toolkit. And Lazarev gives us some really practical, hands-on strategies you can start using right away to reshape your mind. Here they are, the 4 core tools. Think of these like your basic equipment for a mental home renovation. You've got a way to challenge the old faulty structure, a tool to install some new programming, a way to refocus your entire perspective, and finally, a way to protect your new mindset. Let's take that first tool, challenge your thoughts, and put it to work. Imagine this thought just pops into your head. I will definitely fail at this. It feels so true, right? It feels absolute. And for most of us, we just let it sit there as if it's a fact. But instead of just accepting it, you interrupt the pattern. You become a detective of your own mind, and you ask this simple but incredibly powerful question. What's the actual evidence here? Are there times I've succeeded that I'm just ignoring? Is it possible there's another outcome? Just asking the question breaks the spell of that negative thought and forces your brain to look at the facts. The other tools work right alongside this one. Positive affirmations, if you repeat them over and over, they literally start to carve new neural pathways in your brain. It's like creating a brand new, more positive default setting. And a daily gratitude practice that actively retrains your brain's search engine to start looking for what's good in your life, instead of constantly just scanning for threats. Now, using these tools is an amazing start, but Lazarev really stresses that this isn't a one-and-done kind of fix. Real, true transformation is all about building a resilient, positive mindset that can actually hold up against life's challenges for the long haul. And this right here is such a critical shift in how you think. Listen, you will fall back into old patterns. That's just part of it. The goal isn't to be perfect. When a setback happens, instead of seeing it as proof that you failed, Lazarev says you should see it as data. It's valuable information that shows you what your triggers are, so you can handle them better the next time around. And of course, Lazarev brings it all back to the physical. You can't build a strong mind and a body that's running on empty. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Simple things like a quick 10-minute walk, adding just one vegetable to your dinner, or getting an extra 15 minutes of sleep. These things give your brain the actual physical resources it needs to be resilient. So, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. We can't always control what happens to us on the outside, but we can, with practice, control our response on the inside. And taking responsibility for your thoughts, it isn't about blaming yourself. It's about reclaiming your power to shape how you experience your own life. And so we'll end with this question for you. Lazarev's whole point is that this huge transformation doesn't start with some massive, scary overhaul. It starts with one small, totally manageable step. So, will you challenge just one thought today? Or write down one thing you're grateful for? Or maybe just go for that 10-minute walk? The choice of where to begin, that's yours.